Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. We're very glad you're with us this morning. It's December 19th, 2025. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I took over and started facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or if you see me in person, I always have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the PIC crew, also known as the Practice Interview Team, and you'll hear more about them in just a few minutes. Our agenda this morning, we'll start out with success stories and then go to our 30-second introductions. We'll have everybody here in the room give their introductions first, and then we'll go to everybody online. Then we'll hear about the career tip of the week, the practice interview team, and the interview success workshop. And then we'll have our main event about the top of the hour. So we like to start the meeting off with good news. Do we have any landings to talk about? Any successes? Come grab the mic. You just turn it on.
I even put my glasses on so I could see it. I'm Nikki Duncan, and I have landed a temporary part-time job. It's not anything that I'm going to hang my hat on long-term, but it is something, and it's in construction, so it's even in a new industry for me. So that's me. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be here because I'm still looking for the better job.
You want to tell us about it?
What do you want to know about it? I will be doing, okay, so here's the deal. It's a construction company, and the guy who owns the construction company is a friend. And he called and says, I need help. First, his wife is terminally ill, so he's taking care of her. Kudos, I get that. And second, he normally has 10 to 15 projects going at a time, and he organizes them on a his calendar and his master calendar are individual Word documents. Who's crying now, right? So that's it. I get to build his platform and put systems in place and tell him how to move his business forward, moving on. So that's me.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Thank you. Nikki brought donut holes since it's just a All right. So everybody eat donut holes today. All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else have good news to share? Going once, going twice? Nope. All right. For everybody who's online, if you will, open up your chat window, and we'd love for you to go ahead and put in your name, the position you're looking for, give us your email, your LinkedIn address, your phone, the city you're watching from, and give us 2 or 3 target companies we may be able to help you with. If you have companies that you can help other people, please let us know where that is, and we can, you can help share with everybody. You'll get a copy of the chat window. Everybody will get a copy of the chat so you can help everybody else who's here. I'm going to start out and we'll put 30 seconds on the clock to get started typing. And if you're typing, keep continuing typing while we get started here. We're going to start with 30-second introductions with everybody who's in the room. So if you all want to come on, grab the mic and come give your 30-second introductions, that would be great to get started.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. My name is John Hamer. I'm a senior technical project manager with experience in aerospace and defense and telecommunications. And I'm looking for a project manager, senior project manager's job in those areas, or a materials management and role in those as well. I'm looking for connections at RTX, Collins Radio, and Raytheon. Again, my name is John Hamer.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Alkeisha Rodriguez. I'm a certified technical business analyst. I'm looking for those type of roles. I need contacts at Apple, Cisco, and Microsoft. I have contacts at Verizon and the Communities Foundation of Texas. My name is Alkeisha Rodriguez.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm David Turner. I'm an HR systems analyst specializing in SuccessFactors Employee Central Security. I could use a contact at Buxton Consulting. I can help with contacts at PepsiCo. My name is David Turner.
Thank you, David.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Belzil. So I'm looking for a director above role in data product management. So specifically looking for contacts at Keurig Dr. Pepper, Hershey, or Amazon. So I have contacts at Walmart, Epsilon, and Circana. My name is Mike Belzil.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alejandra Duran. I'm a senior internal auditor. That's the role that I'm looking for. I need contacts at Boeing and Essilor, and I have contacts at RealPage and Microsoft. Again, my name is Alejandra Duran.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Corey Hess. I'm looking for clerical administrative entry-level ARAP or data processing, data entry. I need contacts at companies, basically encompasses anything right now that would, maybe train on accounts payable, APAR duties. And I have contacts at warehouse logistic companies. And again, my name is Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Daryl Barrett. I am a program manager and a product manager. I have a extensive background in hospitality and some with Accenture. I work a lot with campaign management specifically. I'm looking right now for anything with Caterpillar, if there's anyone out there. And again, my name is Daryl Barrett.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Pete Hunt. I'm a 40-plus year veteran in the Air Force. I'm looking for a position as a director of military affairs at one of the larger corporations in North Dallas. Target company right now is USAA. Other target companies would be Toyota or one of the defense contractors like Boeing or Raytheon. I don't have any contacts to share, and my name is Pete Hunt.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dax Bennington. I am a technical sales specialist looking for roles in tech sales or software sales. Target companies are Intuit or Sabre or any kind of large company that's needing software sales. I'm also open to medium and small sized tech companies as well. I don't have any contacts right now, but more than willing to help how I can. I'm Dax Bennington.
Thank you.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. I'm Andrea Brown. I'm a director of IT and application delivery or enterprise software. I'm looking for a similar role in any of the North Dallas insurance companies like TIAA, for example, Liberty, Northwestern Mutual, or light manufacturing. I can help with connections at Parker Hannifin Strataflex, which is an aerospace manufacturer. And again, my name is Andrea Brown.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. Let me see here. Okay, we want to get everybody who's online now. So if you will, please raise your hand. So I only call on you one time, not 3 or 4 times like I have in the past. So Matthew, I'll let you start off.
Good morning. I'm Matthew Bianchin. I'm seeking career opportunities as a business development director. I've got contacts at Aramark and Pepsi this week. My target company is Sodexo, and that'll be through the end of the year. I'm Matthew Bianchin.
Thank you. Todd Haney.
Hi, everyone. My name is Todd Haney. I'm looking for roles in customer success or implementation. My target companies include Cotality, Motorola Solutions, and Simpson Strong Tie. My name is Todd Haney. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Steve.
Good morning. My name is Steve Rolian. I'm a retired .NET developer. I have contacts at Fiserv and the VA. My name is Steve Rolian.
Thank you. William.
Good morning, everybody. My name is William McLaughlin. I'm currently seeking a business analyst role and looking for contacts at Dave and Buster's and Cinemark. Again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Scott.
Good morning, everybody. Scott Pedro, Certified Planning Inventory Management. Looking for a supply chain job in Central New Jersey or remotely, specializing in inventory control or production planning. Scott Pedro.
Thank you. Mary.
Sorry, I had to find the mute button. I'm Mary Menser. I am looking for a director or above position in a professional services or project management office in the software space, preferably ERP software, really contacts in any ERP software company. I have contacts at Epicor and Oracle in the NetSuite space. So I'm Mary Menser. Thanks.
Thank you. Neil Isaacs.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Neil Isaacs. I'm a customer success manager looking for that same role. And I'm looking for contacts at Ojo Labs, Lone Wolf, and RealPage. I don't have any connections at this time for anyone. However, I'm very happy to help out by leveraging any my contacts in my network. Again, my name is Neil Isaacs.
Thank you. Carol Palmer.
Good morning. My name is Carol Palmer. I'm seeking a role within the project management space. I have experience within the nonprofit and life sciences sectors and with additional skills of change management and strategic planning. I'm Carol Palmer. Thank you.
Carol, is it finally warming up in Chicago or is it still chilly?
It's been a little up and down. It's not the deep freeze that we had, that's for sure. And, most of the snow got taken away by the rain yesterday. So it's been a crazy winter.
All right. Thank you. Chris Holmes.
Good morning, everybody. And Nikki, congratulations on your landing mostly. I'm Chris Holmes. I am a technology leader who helps business leaders solve pain points with technology solutions and IT organizations to rationalize investments by connecting business strategy with actionable roadmaps. I'm seeking a senior manager or director role in IT portfolio governance, software delivery, or program management. I'm looking for contacts this week at Geico. I have contacts at Southwest Airlines, American Airlines, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and EY. I am Chris Holmes.
Thank you, Chris. Florence.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I'm Florence Haugen. And also I want to say congratulations to Nikki. I know that you've been working very hard to find that next great opportunity, and I'm so happy for you. I help leaders take business strategy and turn it into growth opportunities. And I am looking for, my area of expertise is in market research, market intelligence, competitive intelligence, and insights and strategy. This week, I'm looking for positions at PepsiCo. I do know, I heard someone mention that they had contacts there, and so I'm very interested in, and also interested in ADT as well. And also I'm targeting the insurance companies, so companies like Liberty Mutual, Northwest Mutual, or USA. I'd be interested in those. So if anyone has any leads, I'd like to be able to hook up with you on that. again, my name is Florence Hogan.
Thank you, Florence. Jonathan.
Good morning. I'm Jonathan Panza. I am looking for an IT program manager role, program director role on the infrastructure side, if possible. I don't have any target companies specifically. I have actually worked at Sabre and worked at Raytheon as a contractor as well. I've got contacts at both places if anybody needs any help. Plus, I've got like 15,000 connections on LinkedIn. Happy to help anybody connect, especially in DFW. I've got a lot of people in my network.
Thank you, Jonathan. Oral.
I'm here. Sorry, I was trying to get myself off mute. Hi, I'm Andrew Rhodes. My first name is Oral. I am looking for a executive director or vice president role in healthcare or pharmacy benefit management. I am presently looking at a role that I've applied for at Vizient. I need to make an outreach to a person there, but I'm also looking for contacts at Baylor Scott and White and Texas Health Resources. I do have some contacts at CVS, Caremark, where I came from, and my name is Andrew Rhodes.
Thank you. Rosina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I'm your Career Tip of the Week host. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition business partner, senior recruiter, or senior corporate recruiter. I'm looking for contacts at TIAA Frisco or T-Mobile. And I'm going to be doing, over the next 2 weeks, just doing things a little differently. I'll be working on following up on networking leads that people have given me, as well as preparing for my recertifications. So that's what I'll be doing for the next 2 weeks. And then I have contacts at a variety of different places. So as we connect, go ahead and take a look, and I'll be more than happy to make an introduction. Again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Business Partner, Senior Recruiter, or Senior Corporate Recruiter.
Thank you. Doug Maxim.
Hi, I'm Doug Maxim. I'm looking for my next opportunity is a cybersecurity third-party risk manager or a cybersecurity training and awareness manager targeting Toyota, and also I have contacts at both Frontier and at Raytheon. My name is Doug Maxim.
Thank you, Doug. Anybody else online who I haven't called on yet?
Although this is Lawrencina. My name is Lawrencina Mason Aramalu. I'm looking for a director of partnership opportunities. I haven't identified any particular companies yet, although I did submit an application for the International Justice Mission. I have contacts at Texas Women's University and Dallas College. Again, my name is Lawrencina Mason Aramalu.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, this is Anuradha Subramanian. You can call me Anu. I'm looking for like a technical recruiter or talent acquisition, and I have contacts at Amazon Intuit, where I've worked previously. And I'm open for any opportunity. I mean, any company. I don't have any specific target companies, and I'll be happy to connect if anybody needs anything. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. All right, let's move on here. No job leads. All right, we're going to start out. We're going to do things a little out of order here, but we're going to start out with the career tip of the week. So good morning again, Rosina.
All right, Jeff, threw me off for a minute. All right, give me just a second to pull this up. All right, so this week's tip of the week is provided by our wonderful Walt Glass. He was doing some research on ChatGPT. And so, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing open. Many apologies, everybody. Hi. So the title is Getting Interview Feedback. And again, like I said, it's produced by Walt Glass, and he was using ChatGPT for some research. And so the prompt that he used for ChatGPT, it's I would like to get feedback regarding my job interviews, which is practically impossible to obtain, or if provided, may not be real. What approaches do you suggest? What people should I inquire? And then what questions might I ask that indicate I am not a legal threat? The response: you're right. Getting honest interview feedback is notoriously difficult, largely because of legal risks, time constraints, and standardized HR processes. That said, there are practical ways to improve the odds and get useful signal, even, even if it's indirect. So below is a structured low-risk approach, and there are 7 different approaches that are listed. First being who to ask. It's the highest yet low risk, low likely hood of honest feedback. The best options are first, internal referrals or connections. And that's someone who referred you, former colleagues at the company, alumni at your school. They're outside the legal hiring claim or hiring chain, so they should be a great fit. Second, you want to reach out to hiring managers only in a specific situation, and that's best if you're a finalist. It's a more effective approach for senior roles, and then works better if you are framing it as a development opportunity, not a challenge. Third, you want to reach out to external recruiters, especially retained or executive recruiters. They want to know, they want you to improve because it helps them place you. And then fourth, peer level interviewers. That's kind of off the record, but only if you already have rapport with them. And then keep it informal and non-documentary. And then the least likely people to reach out to is HR generalist, talent acquisition, inboxes, and then automated rejection follow-ups. So the second piece, when to ask, because timing matters. Wait 24 to 72 hours after rejection. Ask after thanking them, and then avoid asking immediately after a no. Third, how to ask, the language that lowers legal risk. Your goal is to show no intent to dispute, signal self-improvement, and eliminate documentation risk. Key phrases to use: for my own development, high level of guidance, patterns you see across strong candidates, no need to document or justify, and then I completely respect the decision. Those are some key phrases to use. Fourth, you want some sample feedback requests. Those are low legal risk. So option A would be for a hiring manager, which is the best version. Thank you again for the opportunity to interview. I fully respect your decision. For my own professional development, I'd really value a high level of guidance. You're comfortable sharing on where I can strengthen my candidacy for similar roles in the future. Even general themes would be helpful. No need for specifics. That's a great option. Second option is to a recruiter. I'm not looking to challenge the outcome. I respect it completely. I'm focused on improving. And so from your perspective, was there anything I could do differently next time in terms of positioning, examples, or scope? And then third option would be option C, reaching out to a referral or an insider, and then being most honest with them. And of course, off the record, if you're comfortable. Was there anything that stood out as a gap or concern compared to other candidates? I'm trying to tighten my interview approach. So those are 3 verbiage options for you. Next, what questions that signal you are not a legal threat? You want to avoid these why questions. Use comparative and forward-looking language. So safe questions would be, was there a skill area you typically see top candidates demonstrate more clearly? Were my examples at the right level of detail for this role? Was the decision more about experience alignment or role fit? And then any advice on how to better communicate impact in future interviews. You want to avoid why was I rejected? What did I do wrong? Who was chosen instead? And was it because of X? Next, you want for how to get feedback without asking at all. So there's a pattern of based on self-analysis. So the track you want to use is where interviews stall, that was screen versus the final interview. Same question types causing you trouble. Consistent feedback phrases such as great experience, but. And then in mock interviews, which are very effective, those are great for executive interview coaches, senior peers in your field, or former hiring managers. You'll get better feedback here than from real interviews. And given your background as a hiring manager who uses behavioral interviewing and STAR, you already know this. So external collaboration is often the only honest mirror. And then lastly, a hard truth, but useful. Most no feedback responses are not about you. They're about legal exposure, internal politics, pre-selected finalists, and then minor differentiators that can't defend in writing. So your goal isn't the reason, it's the pattern. So thank you, Walt, again for this week's tip of the week. It is getting interview feedback using a ChatGPT prompt. And you'll get all of this when Jeff sends it out via email. Congratulations, Nikki, on your landing, and have a happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you very much, Rosina. All right, Tom Deere from the Interview Success Workshop.
Maybe you recognized why I suggested that to be the tip of the week this week, because they said the best way to get feedback is to what? Practice. Take advantage of the pit crew, the practice interview team. We'll talk about that in a minute. And my workshop. So I'm a panelist on the pit crew on Wednesdays. And I've been a panelist for many years. You know, I started this when I really screwed up an interview in 2000 after working 25 years. Some of you are very familiar with working a long time, and now all of a sudden the world has changed. So I was very thankful because he only asked me one question. He said, well, what can you do for me? And it went downhill from there. And so I realized as I was talking that I was wasting my time and his time at the same time. So I kind of cut it short. But the one thing I did do was they said, oh, you went to one of our stores? Because I had gone to one of their stores to look at their business that they were asking me to be a part of. Anyway, so while the pit crew helps us with mock interviews and really honest and good feedback, we're all on your side. We're trying to help you improve, all that. But then I said, well, if you don't know how to sell yourself, what good is that? And so I developed this interview success workshop. It's free. Look me up on the LinkedIn About section. It tells you all the details about registering and be there. I have some people in the queue now. My last workshop is on Tuesday. I will have done 101 this year through the workshop. So, but I am getting into next year already in January, so I'll be glad to have you participate. Just send that QR code. It'll start you an email, and you just fill in some blanks and send that to me, and I'll give you a buzz, and we'll get you, or I'll just send you an email, and we'll get you on the list. So what is the workshop about? Well, it is not a mock interview. It is a learning interview, and it's learning how to sell ourselves, because everyone says, yes, I agree, we're selling ourselves. I said, okay, how do you do that? And then I hear this long pause. So I said, well, I'll break it down into three things. It's who do and how we can help. We sell those three things. So we're a culture fit, the likability, we have the experience, the skills, the expertise, the certification, whatever, all those kind of things are. And we combine those to say, here's the value that I bring. And that's why I see most of the things drop off is the value that we bring. Resumes are full of I do. Okay. And a little bit maybe about us as a personality. But we're going to demonstrate our communication skills. We can say I'm a good communicator, but we're going to show it in an interview. So we usually demonstrate our soft skills, not just list them. And at the same time, we can take those soft skills and say, okay, what is it this soft skill allows me to do better? And so, you know, with being a communicator and listening to others, I'm able to do this task. I'm able to have a nice, brisk, concise meetings to get to the point, gets everybody's opinion. And with that information, I can help you do this. So when you answer, what are your strengths? I say, well, they're A, B, and C. I can be able to do these things better. And for that, I can help you achieve these reasons. And I sold I am, I do, I help with just one question. So that's just an example of what the workshop is about, how to get to that. So it's a learning without squirming experience because we're just learning. We're just learning how to improve ourselves. Be glad to have you participate. Then you go to the pit crew. Who's going to do the pit crew? Okay, well, then you go to the pit crew and our famous Jeff Morris.
You're going to hold the poem? Or get a poem?
Well, I was going to wait, but
you don't wait? Okay, that's
no. I'll go ahead and do the poem now. By the way, I have to leave early today. I have a medical appointment. I had a choice of taking this appointment or going to college, going to med, going to get my degree in my medical field, do my internship, and treat myself. And so this appointment came quicker, so I went ahead and took it. So today's poem. Well, it is the season for New Year's and Christmas, but don't let that stop our interviewing practice business. Yet take some time with family and self. I wish you a job. Put that resume on the shelf. I am Walt Class.
Thank you very much. All right, let me talk about the pit crew just briefly. They're done for the year. They've interviewed everybody. They're going to interview for 2025, but they are taking names for 2026. The Dallas Pit Crew meets every Wednesday right here in this room on the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesdays. They're on in person. On the fourth Wednesday of the month, they will meet online only. So that way anybody who's outside the DFW area can watch a practice interview team. Don't wait until you have an interview to schedule an interview. Their motto is practice early, practice often. You can practice more than one time. I've interviewed a lot of candidates, and I remember seeing one candidate once. Her resume matched the job description exactly, but she came in for the interview and she totally blew it. I can see why she didn't get the job. About a month later, she came back with another job description, another resume that was great, and she aced the interview. So, you've got to practice. Don't let a real interview be your practice interview. Come do it soon. You're welcome to come watch. I encourage you to watch because, quite frankly, I learn as much either interviewing somebody or just watching somebody else being interviewed going, oh, that's really great the way they said that. Or, oh, I would never say that, or something. You'll learn by just watching other people. So 1 o'clock every Wednesday, first, second, third, and fifth Wednesdays are in person right here in this room. Fourth Wednesdays, they are online. If you want to schedule an interview, just send me your resume and a job description to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com, and they will get you scheduled. I know there's a waiting list right now, but people for some reason are getting jobs. So they drop off the list and they bring other people in earlier. So that's the practice interview team. Walt just said you can watch people riding a bicycle, but that doesn't help you to learn how to ride bicycle. So, but you can come watch people being interviewed. It's a really great tool. All right, today for lunch, we're going to go to Jason's Deli, 4801 West Parker Road, just northeast corner of Parker and Preston. So come join us about 11:45, and we'll have lunch together and continue our networking. All right, if you'd like to receive today's materials, you'll get a copy of the speaker's presentation. You get a link to the YouTube video. It'll be uploaded later this afternoon. You get a copy of the career tip of the week that Rosina read, along with the copy of the Zoom chat. To make sure you've gotten that information, if you're here in person, make sure you've checked yourself off on the roster. For those people who are brand new, make sure you fill out a little slip of paper, and if it's legible, I will get you added. If you don't hear from me by Saturday by 4 o'clock, send me an email, and we'll figure out why I couldn't read your handwriting. For everybody who's online, please make sure you've got you pop your email address into the chat so that I know you're with us. Here are the following people who have mysteriously shown up, and then we couldn't find them because they didn't give me an email address. So if you know of any of these people, please reach out, or if you have their email address, please send it to me so I can get them added to our roster. But these are our mystery watchers. Oh, she did land? Okay. Well, she's going to fall off the list because it's been 90 days. If you happen to know where these people are, please let me know. Okay. I want to introduce Nikki Duncan. She's going to introduce our speaker, and I want to thank her because she's been lining up all of our speakers for us. So Nikki, it's all yours.
I'm going to use Darin's computer. I'm not really Darin, but that way I can see you guys and you guys. Okay, so our speaker today is Darin Newbold. Darin is the founder of Bold Solutions and the creator of the Bold GPS. The Bold GPS is a guided purpose system that connects who you are with what you do, giving leaders and teams greater confidence while living with purpose and job seekers. Darin is a former COO, Army officer, and a certified purpose factor and Enneagram coach with a career spent helping leaders and professionals gain clarity about how they're wired and the work they're best suited to do. His approach is practical, grounded, and focused on helping people be the leader that others want to follow, helping them navigate their career so they can be the best versions of themselves. Today, Darin is going to help us understand our motivations, purpose, and the roles where we thrive. You're up, Darin.
All right. May the force be with us. All right. Jeff, if you could click the little, it's okay, maybe that, so the okay on the recording there. And then, hang on, I now need to find my mouse. Oh, fudge, now I can't see anything here. Hang on a second. What happened to, well, I have no control whatsoever on my screen. Can you, they are seeing it, okay. I don't even see a mouse going. Oops. Sorry, guys, we need to go back one. All right. Well, yeah, I've lost some connection here. Sorry. Well, we will improvise as always. Thank you guys very much for being here. I'm excited to get an opportunity to chat with you and share something that's near and dear to my heart, is understanding ourselves and understanding our purpose, and then putting that together in a way that can be effective for you, especially in that in your job search. So many career transitions fail long before a resume is sent, or an interview is scheduled, not because people are unqualified, but because they are trying to move forward without clarity about themselves. And if I can find my mouse here, I will be so much better off. Any idea why I can't? Guys, I apologize. I'm going to undo something. Hey, there we go. Don't show me this again. Later. Okay. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right. You already saw the first one, so we already know that one. As we continue on, the big thing about all of this is what's so important to you guys is understanding in this environment how challenging it can be, and how knowing who you are and having clarity around that, as well as knowing that purpose, it can adjust very subtly and maybe very largely. It can adjust how you do your career search. So if you're between roles, questioning your next move, feeling unsettled, about what comes next, you're not broken. You're likely just need to find more clarity. So today is all about clarity and understanding what motivates you, identifying your natural advantage, and learning how to use that clarity to make better decisions. Now, I would like to invite you all. This is an interactive presentation, so with your permission and with your inclusion, your participation is desired. And for those online, I'm going to humbly ask Jeff, if you see somebody raise their hand or whatever, holler at me, because I may not be watching and I cannot see all of you, but I want to make sure everybody's on part. So there's a couple of tools that we're going to use today that you get to be involved with. First and foremost is what's called the Enneagram. The Enneagram is the lens that we see, experience, and perceive life through. It reveals our core motivations, our core desires, but it's not our behaviors. It highlights your core fears, and it helps you understand your decision-making criteria, whether through your life as well as under stress. Fundamentally, the Enneagram is a map of who you are. Now, you can see it's based on 9 numbers, and around the tables, you can see a little description of those 9 numbers. For those of you online, I apologize. You'll have that, whatever, tomorrow when Jeff sends out the email, you'll have the same material. But those are the 9 numbers of the Enneagram that outline personality traits and those core motivations and core fears. Now, there's a lot to this. It's very in-depth. We're only going to go into a very high-level piece of it for you guys today, but I wanted to give you just a quick overview. The second tool, part 2 of that, is what's called the purpose factor. The purpose factor is based on 4 key components: natural advantage, your acquired skills, so the skills that you've learned over time through school or through life. Your pull passion, which is quite unique. Your pull passion is that problem that you are uniquely designed, desire, and very good at solving. That's your pull passion. And then the last piece is your origin strength, which is based on your origin story and how you overcome struggles and challenges. But the one we're going to talk about most today is your natural advantage. That's what you naturally bring. That's the best of what you bring to the table naturally, whether it's work or other opportunities. So purpose is defined as when you help others with the best of what you have. That's your purpose. And you get to experience the best that life has to offer, and that is your fulfillment. Now, don't you want your next position, your next career to fulfill you? Wouldn't that be something that's nice, and not be some drudgery that is just something you're finding? That's what we want to focus on. All right. Speaking of you, what about you? How would you like to find out a little bit more about yourself? So would you be open to taking a couple of minutes to getting just a baseline of your Enneagram and then a little bit of an idea on your natural advantage? If you're okay with that, if you have your phone with you, go ahead and grab it and get it ready. For those online, there's going to be a QR code that you can grab. I'd like you to do that. Let's see if we can see if I can successfully do this without messing everything up. Here we go. So first and foremost, not that one. Here's your Enneagram. So the Enneagram, it's two questions. So all you have to,
Ready?
yes? Sorry, somebody said something. And
Wow.
I think we have a hot mic. Okay. All righty. So take those. It's only two questions. If you have any trouble, since it's far back, yeah, Nikki, I printed out one copy of that so she can show that to you, and you can do that. It's two simple questions. Has everybody got that here? For those online, hopefully you've grabbed it as well. Two easy questions. So now I'm going to switch over. Once you have that, take a screenshot. Once it comes back, it'll come back and it'll give you your type, give you a little description of it. If you want, take a screenshot of it, or if you have something to write with, just write it down so you have that with you. Or if you have one of the sheets in front of you, you're welcome to circle that, however it works for you. Do you have yours there, Jeff? All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the natural advantage QR code. Nick, if you want to grab that one, especially for those in the back, it's a little harder. This one takes just a hair longer. It's 7 questions. And again, take a screenshot once it gets to the end of that one. So you'll have it. So this is for your natural advantage. Now, I'm guessing there's some really, really fun person here is going to break my 7 questions, because there is one way you can create a tie. And if you do create a tie and it comes back and it doesn't give you anything, tell me. We can work through that. What you have once you understand, or once you have these pieces, is you have what your motivations, what your core motivations, core fears, and core desires are through the Enneagram, through that type number, 1 through 9. And then for your natural advantage, you now have basically a type. It's a name. 5 different types under the natural advantage that go from builder, overseer, teacher, truth teller, and what's the 5th? Recruiter. That was the one I missed. Recruiter. Is everybody able to get that? Help your friends out if you can. So who'd like to real quick share what their type was? Go ahead, Dax.
Teacher.
So that's your natural advantage, teacher. What was your type, the number?
Oh, sorry. 6.
A 6. Okay. 6, the loyal skeptic. So 6 is, for those of you that run leadership teams or have teams at all, you almost always want to have a 6 on there. The reason is 6s have a tendency to look at they're the ones that are going to look at that worst case scenario. They're going to be the one that tells you, wow, that gee whiz great idea of yours, that could run off the cliff. And here's why. So they can help you avoid. Anyone else? Thank you, Dax. Thank you very much.
First one, right? Yes. Natural, sorry, supportive helper.
So a 2.
Okay.
Right. And that was your number, was a 2? So the first one would have given you a type and then the name, which was supportive helper, which is a 2. Okay, no worries. No, you're all good. And then did you get your natural advantage as well? Got it. Got it. So 2s, natural helpers. Now, one of the things to give you a heads up, 2s can be mistyped. And one of the big reasons is, especially in American society, women can sometimes be mistyped as a 2 because it's culturally, they're the helpers. Okay, motherhood, all that those kind of things. Doesn't mean that they're not. It just means that they can miss. Also, those in that are with the church or in clergy that have that natural desire to give and be that helper. So 2s or 1s, they're tend to be a bit empathetic. They can walk into a room and know pretty quickly who needs what, even before they even know they need something. And they're the ones that when somebody passes away or somebody has a new baby, they're the ones first up that brings the meatloaf, the whatever to help out and organize that. So has everybody gotten both their type and their natural advantage? Oh, just click do the thing.
QR code
Yeah.
again.
If you grab that, Nikki, and maybe have her do. Which one do you need? Both of them? Okay. Sorry.
That's one. That's the second.
Thank you.
Yes.
On mine.
You are the winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Ding, ding, ding. I knew there'd be somebody. So if you would, that page there that has the red on top, natural advantage, what I'd like you to do is, as you kind of think about the questions you were just going through, look at those 5 pieces, and then from that, say, all right, which one is you most of the time? Okay? You got the same thing. Holy mo. Yes.
There's Alkeisha turning the technical into the tangible.
The technical into the tangible. I love it. I love it. All right, I'm going to jump back. We've got the QR codes here. I'm going to jump back to my presentation so that we can stay a little bit on track, hopefully, here. And all right, we got all this. No worries. No worries. No worries. No problem. Just keep it right there. You're 2 slides ahead of me. No worries. You're awesome. What was your type? Type 2, supportive helper. Excellent. And your natural advantage? Recruiter. All right. They're the person that, hey, knows how to get by. I'll talk about a supportive helper that loves to bring people together, get stuff done, and make it happen. That is a person that you want on your team for sure. All right, I'm going to continue on here. This gives you the full overview so that you can see all 5 of the natural advantage, all 9. And this is the same for those online. If you want to take a picture of this screen, great time to do that. The people here in the room, they have this printed out for them sitting at the table. So I'll give you just a couple seconds.
Hey, Darin, I also took a picture of that and put it in the chat.
Oh, you are ahead of the game. You're awesome. That is why you're here. All right. So if we have that, let's move on. So motivations, how do they shape your uncertainty? Okay. So one of the things that I want to kind of bring up here is each type reacts differently under uncertainty. This is all based on your core fears and as well as stress. And knowing your type helps you make different choices. So, for instance, I'm going to use a personal example. I'm a type 7, so the enthusiastic visionary is what that's typically called. And as a type 7, I naturally avoid pain. And what that means is that doesn't mean just, hey, somebody hitting me in the face or something pain. That's pain either real or perceived or imagined. So think how fun that can be. So I don't want to be trapped. I don't want to be deprived. I don't want to be limited. I'm not a big fan of boundaries. So that can be fun too. All right. So here I am. I'm doing a job pretty well. I'm just getting by, but I'm always just only dipping my toe in the water. I'm never fully committed, because if I were, that might trap me or limit me in some way. So I'm in a job, I'm doing well. My boss probably kind of likes me, thinks I'm doing okay, but I may not be making the progress or getting advancements or anything else. And year and a half comes along, maybe the economy changes, I'm the guy that gets laid off, maybe I'm the guy that gets fired, or maybe I'm the guy that maybe finds another job because I got bored because I was afraid of being boxed in. And then the pattern repeats. So it took me a while, and that's one of the reasons, that's why this came together. What I call Bold GPS is the combination of all of this, and I'm providing it here for you for this career GPS. So those are some of the things of knowing your type and how that can really make a difference. So let me ask you all, what tends to show up internally for you when your future feels unclear? And just answer this for yourself. If you're open or would care to share, I would love to hear what tends to show up internally when your future feels unclear. And having sat where you've sat, and I have, it wasn't at this church, but it was at a different one in a different career group, but I've done it, and I've done it multiple times. So I've sat there, and you want to talk about a lot of fear, walking in, deer in the headlights kind of look, saying, oh my gosh, now what am I going to do? Dax.
Worst case scenario.
There's our type 6.
I'll repeat it. Dax is imagining the worst case scenario.
Very much a 6. And one of the things about a 6, just FYI, if we pull back up the nine numbers of the Enneagram, it would show kind of some triads. But the 6 is in a triad with 5, 6s, and 7s. And that triad is all based on fear. And 6s are especially fun in this area because they fear itself. So that makes them the skeptic. They're always looking for that worst case. They're always working to be prepared and to avoid that. But bring them on board, show them and protect them. They will be loyal, and they will walk through fire, take the hill. They'll do anything for you. Nikki, did you have something, or you just grabbed gotcha. All right. Thanks, you, Dax, for sharing that. Think about those things. So now let's go to our next piece here. Oops. Come on. There we go. So now that was about the Enneagram and those pieces. Let's talk about the natural advantage. Now, your natural advantage is how you contribute at your best. Explains how you bring value when you're at your best. It's consistent across roles and industries. And your confidence will increase when you know how you naturally help. So when have you felt most fulfilled? So think of the jobs you've had, think of the career and the places you've been. When have you felt most fulfilled? Anyone care to share their most fulfilled opportunity? And no worries if you don't, just no pressure. Yeah, please. Oh, wait. So
the overseer.
So when have you felt most fulfilled? You're the overseer. Yeah. I gotcha. But when have you felt most fulfilled? Kind of, is there a scenario, like a moment in your work or in your life when you just walked away and you said, I nailed it?
Yeah, it was basically when we had multiple complex projects to run. And if I was a key player in the decision that came out and it succeeded, that was very rewarding.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Sure, right next to him there.
Thanks. I'm also an overseer, and I think
wow, we got
yeah, the whole row right
You guys
here.
weren't cheating on each other. I mean,
He's looking over his shoulder. Yeah, I would say that I feel most fulfilled when there is a difficult problem or situation, and I help analyze and figure it out. And everyone, because of that, everyone is able to move forward and have a sense of relief, if that makes sense.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It does. It does. So capture those. And there's a reason why. You're going to see in a little bit how the career GPS kind of brings it all together, but remember those, because now this is starting to give you both some ideas as well as some language through your job search, as well as in the interview process, of things you want to be able to look for and be aware of. Oh, yes, Doug. Yeah. Sorry, I saw that. Yeah, Doug Maxim.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I find this interesting because I come up as a teacher, type 2, and I am a cybersecurity third-party risk manager. But what I find most fulfilling is when I'm creating training guides and doing mentoring. So it's interesting that that's where I find my fulfillment, even though teacher isn't my title.
But what you're finding, and it's in alignment to that natural way, that natural thing you are best at providing.
Right.
And through the purpose factor and that teacher, I've had some of my clients come back and like you, Doug, and I thank you so much for sharing, because you really hit on something that's not uncommon. People, sometimes they don't like that teacher, because we all think of, I think of my first grade teacher, Mrs. Horrock. What a great name. And first grade was tough. I can tell you about that. Anyway, and that's what you think of when you say teacher, but that's not the fundamental. It's exactly kind of as you described it there, Doug. It's about bringing your knowledge, and bringing that knowledge, whether it's in a training guide, whether it's sitting side by side with someone in a class, or in front of an entire group, a large audience, but it's bringing that knowledge forward in a way that creates it's going to help those people, that then gives back to you, and that's where your fulfillment's going to come.
Yeah, I love the aha moment when I see the light bulb click on. That's cool.
That's awesome. Again, thanks, Doug, for sharing. Mike, right?
Question. This is definitely an interesting set of frameworks. How should we think about this versus like strength finders? Because knowing that so many people do that, how should I reconcile those?
If I hadn't talked to you, and I should have talked to you in advance, because I said, hey, you should have brought that up. Strength finders is awesome. I'm a big fan of it. I am a big fan of it. I went down this path because what I have found with the Enneagram, and then now with Purpose Factor, there's a great synergy there, and there's so much depth with the Enneagram. You can do things. But I love bringing in the strength finders, and especially looking at your top 5 and making sure that top 5, what will be interesting for you is, if you know your top 5, is kind of look at that in comparison to your natural advantage. And in some cases, what you might find is something that's very complementary that fits in there. In some cases, I have seen where I wouldn't say that it's maybe juxtaposed or a conflict, but it can be something very different. And those are areas of opportunity for you to maybe explore further with yourself, saying, okay, I may have a strength here. My natural advantage is here. Am I leaning too much in one way or the other? Or is there something that I need to release that's going to cause me to be better in whatever role or whatever I'm doing? The other thing is I'll say this. I started my career selling computers, basically. And I was pretty decent at it. I was told when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, I could sell refrigerators to Eskimos. I had an outgoing personality. I could say, hi, how you doing, and do this. And so that's the way I went. And I had some success. But as I had some success, I wanted to do more. I wanted to go up more, and all of a sudden, and the world changed, and it's wildly changed now for salespeople, but back many years ago, it was challenging, and all of a sudden, sales wasn't fun anymore. I didn't like it, and what I found is almost subconsciously, and I even studied myself enough. I'm a huge navel gazer, so I studied myself enough to realize that I was sabotaging my own success trying to sell stuff because it was perceived pain, and I was doing anything I could to get away from it. And so I went through a really crummy time, and we don't have time or adult beverages to talk about that portion, but it's led to all of this and where I am right now. And it was that transition. But Mike, does that help? I'm a huge fan of ultimately a huge fan of the Strength Finders, and you can really find some complementary things there with it.
No, I agree. Thank you. I view them as there's synergy there. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. All right. The last question here, I'll let you guys marinate on it, but what kind of contribution seems to come naturally to you, even when you doubt yourself? So just think about it, marinate on that. We're going to keep going because I want to keep rolling here. We got a little bit of time. So why is it that there's good jobs out there, but they can still be the wrong fit? Most people evaluate jobs based on title, pay, or prestige. Very few evaluate them on what the role will consistently pull out of them internally. So don't we find, and I actually have one of my clients that has spent 26 years as a apartment manager, managing an apartment complex that he's hated, but he sucked it up. Why? Because he had insurance. That's fundamentally why. For his family, he was doing that. But the guy has so much creativity. He's so musically inclined. He's created film scores for movies, and he has so much talent that is being missed out on because of that kind of choice. So let's put it all together here. The Enneagram reveals what motivates you, and more importantly, what you fear. Your natural advantage reveals how you contribute best. So a misalignment happens when a role constantly triggers fear while underutilizing your natural contribution. So who here, and you can just raise your hand, who here has ever been in a job that was constantly triggered by fear and their natural talents, their natural advantage was not being utilized? Mike? Yeah, we all have. We've had it. And I'm seeing some hands. Yeah, I see your hands online, Doug, and maybe some others. Thank you. Yeah, it's happened to all of us. It's happened to all of us. So here's another prompt to take a look at. In past roles, what emotion showed up most often for you? Have you ever asked yourself this question about previous roles? Taken the time to think about, because in some ways, emotions are kind of a dirty word, maybe, because we don't talk about them. And if you're kind of the male of the species, hey, rub some dirt on it and get back in the game, right? But the crazy thing is these crazy things called emotions, they do all sorts of fun things that we don't like, we don't want, and they cause us to behave in ways that are not productive, not serving us, and can often cause us to say things that are not helpful in a job interview or in a networking environment or maybe just at a party with friends. So, yes, Mike.
Darin,
Do you want me to go back?
Yeah, if you go back to the last slide about why good jobs can be a wrong fit. Obviously, we're all focused on transition right now, securing that next great role. Are there any tips given kind of these frameworks and these types of assessments? Do you recommend to these out for a potential job, whether a wrong fit, like questions to ask, things to look for to avoid those mistakes?
Hopefully, in 2, maybe 3 slides, I'm going to get to that. I can only do so much in the time and what we have here. But yes, my goal is to try and tease that out, because what the full goal of all of this, and I hope you're starting to get it, is we've got a lot going on. And if we don't understand it, whether we like it or not, it's going to get in our way. Now, some of us are great actors, actresses, and we can tap dance our way through a whole lot. And trust me, as a type 7, I am former sales guy. I can tap dance like nobody's business. However, that works right up to the point where somebody kind of calls BS and says, "Wow, you're pretty shallow, and you only know this, and you're this level of expert, but wow, you're going to run away as soon as I put some pressure on you." So ultimately, yes, Mike, I do hope to get there and have some ideas for you, and I do have some. Depending on our time, we'll have some time for Q&A, and we can dig into that a little more. But again, thinking about your emotions and how they've showed up for you. So what your Enneagram type is telling you about fit, the Enneagram helps you notice why certain roles feel heavy or they feel life-giving. And this is the start of what you're talking about, Mike, is as you look at roles, you're going to start, as you're reading maybe the job description, as you're reading the things that they're wanting for you, you're going to see where that may feel good or may not feel good. So here's some examples. Some people are motivated by meaning and integrity. Roles that force compromise will exhaust them, types 1 and 4. Okay? Some are motivated by harmony and connection. Oops, I'm sorry. My bad. The first one, for types 1 and 4, I skipped a paragraph. For types 1 and 4, some people are motivated by meaning, and integrity. Roles that force compromise will exhaust them. Some are driven by achievement and contribution. Roles with vague expectation or no scoreboard will slowly erode confidence. That's the 3 and the 8. Okay? Some are motivated by security and clarity. Ambiguous leadership or shifting priorities will drain them very quickly. That's the 2 and the 9. And then for 5s and 6, lack of clear direction and lack of loyalty and lack of personal protection creates uncertainty and fear with them. So these are things you can start looking for, at least in the job descriptions. And then I would encourage you, have this in mind, because we all know just because you walk into an interview and they're interviewing you, that doesn't mean you can't interview them. And you better be. Because it's just as important for them to put on a good show and impress you enough to want to take your great talents and bring them forward for this company. You need to be able to do that. Okay? Are you a type 7? Oh. Thank you. As a fellow type 7, when I was doing my presentation and how this worked out, and I did have a little help from ChatGPT and all of this, it skipped 7 for some reason. So absolutely.
7s are setting the vision. They don't need to be on the board.
Exactly. Here's the thing with 7s. And I kind of told you a little bit about it in my story. One of the challenges with 7s is depth and a desire to fully commit. And what that means is with the job. Here's another story for you. True story. One of my first real jobs before sales, this was back in high school. Huge learning event. So I was working at a grocery store. Okay? You got to stock, you got to clean, you got to do stuff. I happen to have a coworker who was a specialist at doing the absolute possible minimum to get by and stay employed at that place. And he got away with it. I thought he was the way to do it because, hey, That avoids pain, avoids getting committed. So I did the same thing. Well, sure enough, one night we have the short, seemed like the mean manager. That mean manager was going around, well, we weren't going to be able to go home because the store looked like crap. And this was back when stores actually closed and weren't 24 hours. So I wanted to go home. So I got mad. And I just went and I stocked and I put stuff away. I cleaned. In fact, I did both his job, my job, and some of the others because I was just mad. Well, right before I went out, that manager came to me and said, "Hey, Darin, wow, you did a really great job." He said, "We were thinking about letting you go because we just didn't think you got it." And you want to talk about a light bulb that came on, I hadn't committed. I was dipping my toe in the whole time with that job, not committing. But as soon as I did, as soon as I gave myself and really, truly did it, wow, it was magic. That's about the sevens. What's that? There you go. All right. 2 quick questions for you. We don't quite have time to dig into too much right now, but let's, in roles that fit me well, I would suggest you write these down and then fill in this blank. In roles that fit me well, I usually feel blank most of the time. In roles that drain me, I usually felt blank. So in roles that fit me well, I usually feel blank most of the time. So again, you're thinking about those roles that went well. What did you feel most of the time? And trust me, guys, feelings through the Enneagram, there's all sorts of fun with it. Did anybody, just curious, anybody a type 3 or a type 9? 3? Anybody a type 9? 3s are fun. They're the achievers. Go get them. Great salespeople often. They're the achievers. Get stuff done, all of that. But one of the unique things in the Enneagram for 3s is they are both, their feelings, they're feeling dominant, but they're also feeling repressed. So basically, because they like to get stuff done, they just don't want to participate in feelings because they're a waste of time because then I can't get my stuff done. And so often one of their challenges is getting in touch with those feelings and then also being able to ask them, who are you really? Be a fun question for you. We'll leave that one for another time. Anyway, moving right along. So this is getting to answer your question a little bit here, Mike. The simple career alignment filter you can use to really help your process. So one of the things you want to do is before you're pursuing or even accepting a role, you want to ask, hey, does this role support what motivates me, or will it consistently activate my fears? So using what you now know about your type, and I'm going to get to the natural advantage in the next piece. So for your natural advantage, the contribution check, does this role allow me to contribute in the way I naturally add value? And then last, the overall environment, will this environment amplify my strengths or require constant self-management? So what you end up with is a sentence that looks something like this. Now, this is the sentence that you're not going to put on LinkedIn per se, but this is the sentence, this is your guiding, kind of a guiding light for you of the role that fits me best tend to allow me to contribute by doing X while supporting my need for Y. So when you fill this out, you now have something that can really help you and be that guiding point. So you're not trying to find that perfect job. You're trying to make a wiser decision. And this filter helps you do that with more confidence and less fear. And just know you're going to get these slides as well. So if you don't capture this, it's okay. All right, let's keep on rolling here. In closing, I want to leave you with, at this time of the year, hope, dignity is, well, it can be not the most fun. And I recognize that. So with that, being between roles during the holidays can be especially heavy. It can stir fear, comparison, and self-doubt. If that is where you are, there is nothing wrong with you. The season does not define your worth. It does not erase your experience. It's a pause, not a verdict. And when you understand what motivates you and how you naturally contribute, clarity begins to replace fear. And when clarity returns, confidence follows. You do not need the entire map today. You only need a clearer compass. So with this, with some fireworks, let clarity guide your next step. You are much closer than you really think. Thank you all very much. I'm welcome to answer any questions you might have as best I can. Oops. Yes.
Thank you for that. I'm not sure if this is a trade secret. So why did we break the system?
So late 2 nights ago, as I was putting together that great little questionnaire, ChatGPT told me that there is a possibility that someone could answer 2 of the questions one way. I mean, basically put in 2 answers one way, 2 answers another way, and then the next 3 different answers, which creates a tie. And it said, hey, you're supposed to put this in. Well, as I tried to put that in, it didn't work very well. It was late. I had reached the peak of my fun meterness on building that out, and I decided, and all it was going to have you do is do exactly what I asked you to do, is look at the list. But all that means, to really answer your question, is as you were reading those natural advantage pieces, one of the things about them, everybody has all of them. So you're going to feel like a little bit of all of them. And so the way that question probably was asked in that moment, you said, okay, I'm going to do A here. I'm going to do A here. Oh, this one feels like a B. This one feels like a B. Ooh, no, this one's a C. This one's a D, and this is a E. Okay. So that's kind of how it happened. And all it was you were answering the questions because it felt the most right. And that's where I would ask you, kind of go back, look at those 5, and then say, okay, most of the time, this is naturally what I bring forward.
I just felt it was a unique combination, and wasn't expecting this combination of items. And it's like, oh, wait, you broke it.
Nope. You did. No problem. And I'm glad you guys did, because I knew it was going to happen, and I wanted to be ready for it. But all it is it ended up, there was a tie between the way it was calculating. This is a very simple one. There is a entire assessment around purpose factor that you can take that'll give you a 40-page report on all of the pieces of your purpose, and it goes into a great deep bunch of detail and all of that. So this was just what I could do for the time and the purpose for you guys. What I really wanted you to walk away with from this is knowing a little bit more about yourself, especially those core fears and motivations, and be able to tie that to then your natural advantage, what you're bringing naturally to those jobs. So as you start to put those together, you start to see that, okay, that job that I might think is fantastic and awesome, well, as I start to peel back the onion, well, it's going to cause me to do things that's going to create a great deal of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, as a IBM would say, and that's not good. So maybe I either adjust my search criteria, or I look at the job differently, or I look at different types of jobs, or I make sure in the interview process I really understand what those pieces are, because maybe, and you guys, you know this, job descriptions are you want to talk about a black art. I mean, writing a job description. I mean, that's second only to interviewing is the black art. So job descriptions, I mean, most of the time they're going to write a job description that there is only one human on the entire planet, and that human doesn't probably even exist. Only an AI could actually fill what is in that job description. There's nobody that's done all those things, had that length of experience in those things. Drives me nuts. So recognize that once you get into the interview, that's your opportunity. Anybody else? We got one more here.
I know I showed up with bells on today.
And then if there's anybody online, if we have time. Are we doing okay on time? Yes.
Hi, David Turner here. I'm a 5 and I broke the tool, but I decided I'm an overseer. I think that the roles that I've had and the roles that I'm applying for fit me fairly well, but the things that cause issues, and I guess you call it fears, tend to be more related to maybe the culture in the area where I'm working, or maybe a manager or something like that. Do you have any thoughts on how to identify those kinds of things when you're going through the process versus just looking at job descriptions and going, well, this fits me pretty well?
That's going to be a challenge. You're really only going to find that as you're doing the interviews. Hopefully, and again, you never know, either they may do a group interview where there's multiple people and you can then carefully craft questions that might help you learn more about where those fears for you might show up in. For fives are about knowledge. You're typically the smartest person in the room. Fives are the only ones that, if you're a Star Trek fan or even whatever, they have built-in deflector shields. So they're a person that can show up at a group like this. They could talk to most of you, but then later on we would forget that he was even here, and people would say, well, I don't know if he was here or not. Those are the deflector shields. Anyway, but that's how I think in the interview process, I think you could potentially, it's a bit of a challenge. So either whether it's a group interview or you get to interview others that are in the chain of command or others around it. Now, you might also creatively be able to create a scenario-based question that you don't want to tip your hand that, wow, I hate it when I have to work with really stupid people. And sorry, I said that out loud. But anyway, that's kind of one of the things. So, but you could carefully craft, and probably with a little AI help, probably craft a very gently worded and scenario type question that could bring that forward.
Okay.
Could that help?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I want to go back to the Clifton Strengths question that Mike was asking before, but it relates also to the purpose factors and the enneagram. So I've heard that, I don't know if it's a good piece of advice or not, that in your LinkedIn profile, you list your Clifton Strengths. If that's true, do recruiters really look at that? Because like you said in an interview, that's fine and dandy that you got to figure it out on the fly, but it would be nice to know ahead of time if you're really a match for that job. So do you list, first of all, do you or do you not list Clifton Strengths on the LinkedIn profile? And the second piece is, do recruiters really look at that and consider that?
That's a very good question. So let me preface what I'm about to say is I'm not an expert on being a recruiter or what they might look for. So take the rest of what I say with the appropriate grain of salt. Based on that, I don't think I would put my Clifton Strengths on there, at least in the headline. I might put it in the about. So if someone was willing to look at and read my about section and read all of that, I would be open to having them there. What I think would even be more valuable is if in your about you took those maybe top 5, and maybe for the about section it's only the top 3 of your strengths, but had those strengths, but characterize them in a story of your success in previous roles. So where you were able to take that strength and apply it, because I think a recruiter, it's what I'm at least hearing and seeing in today's world is it is very challenging for a actual resume to be seen by a human. And I'm sorry, guys, that's what I'm hearing. So if they actually read it or actually get to your LinkedIn profile and read it, then that becomes very, very powerful. Sorry, I saw you raise your hand. Anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on that. And that's how I would really bring the strengths forward, is being able to highlight those in that.
Yeah, I think your strengths, knowing what your top 5 strengths are, help you to be able to describe who you are in the about section. I don't think that, if a recruiter saw that, all they would say is, okay, that person's sort of self-aware, they've taken the test, but they're not going to know how that relates to everybody else who's at the company. It's to me, it's a great way to explain who you are to somebody else. And I've got it on if you look in my profile, you'll see my 5 strengths are listed towards the bottom, but the sentences at the top of the about section use those 5 words to describe who I am.
I think that's excellent. Excellent. The other piece is the LinkedIn profile. You really want that maximized for that hidden job market. And I'm guessing hopefully you're all familiar with kind of the hidden job market, all those jobs that either don't get posted, or maybe they're posted and they may take resumes, but they never interview anybody for it because they've either already picked somebody, they're doing something like that. So in those kind of situations, for that hidden job market where you're actively reaching out to companies, to hiring managers, or just other connections inside other companies, being able to have in that headline what you bring to a company and the impact or the results or the whatever that is in that first line, that's, in my opinion, a very good thing to have. Make sense?
Any questions from anybody online? You're welcome to unmute mic and ask away. Anybody else here in the room? Okay. Well, thank you very much,
guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see here, a few more slides and we'll get out of here. For the next 2 Fridays, we're not going to have a meeting. It's a Friday after Christmas and the Friday after New Year's. So everybody have a Merry Christmas and safe and happy New Year's. Our next meeting will be on January 9th, and we will do open forum, being the first Friday we're back together. So that'll be on the 9th. On this video will get uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel. Click on playlist. Every video that I post goes into one of 7 different playlists. And don't click on the video, but down below where you see view full playlist, click there and it'll become a list of all the titles and dates in chronological order that we've had speakers for that have allowed us to record their program. And you'll be able to go back and watch it. Just know that the presentation usually starts about 30 minutes into the video. Upcoming, as we said before, no meeting the next 2 weeks, open forum on the 9th. Today, we're going to go to Jason's Deli. How many people think they may go so we know how many settings to get? Anybody? Okay. I'll be there eating ice cream by myself then. That's fine. I get all the ice cream with the chocolate sauce. Okay. All right. Right. Well, everybody have a Merry Christmas, safe and Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, and we will see everybody next year. See you next year.
Thank you. Happy holidays.